everybody, and welcome to Session 7 of Printweaver Pillars of Ink. I am your Game Master, Mare, and let's get started because we got a lot to get through today. We are going to... it is not showing up on my screen, so I don't know what the order is off the top of my head, but we're going to go around and say, hey, hi, who we are, who we're playing, and eventually we will get to the recap. So, we're going to start with RJ.
Hello everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'm playing Hale. We both go by he, him. He is trying his best and I'm a menace.
Next is Angela.
Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela Lemos Mogrebeja. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Lucia Valette, otherwise known as Luz del Valle, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Abhishek.
Hey everybody, my name is Bishik Matange. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Vongo, Viator, who uses they, them pronouns. We're just doing our best.
And last but not least, we have Amber, who is also going to do our recap.
Hi, I'm analog_Amber, and I will be playing Mariana Cross. I use she, they pronouns. Mariana uses she, her. In our last session, we were, quote-unquote, heading to find monsters. We found two people arguing, rather, Hale found two people arguing and went to go investigate. Hale discovered that one of these people were from the Magus of Cycles, aka the Circle people, and one of them was from the Paragons of Providence. They seemed to be working together. Very odd, since the Magus of Cycles are travelers and involve travelers, and the Paragons of Providence don't like them. We began to find more partially transformed bodies in all different states of transformation, and we found someone very important to Vago named Jokal Sagebend, who is stuck in a cocoon and his legs have been insected, I think is what I wrote. Jokal was one of the parents that helped Vago when he woke up without his memories. We encountered one large insectoid and 6 smaller insectoids. The one seemed to be the catalyst for all of them.
Before we get started, I also want to just say, hey, this is a very intense type of game. We have content warnings. This game deals with death and the like, and a lot of emotional turmoil if you've been watching us these past half dozen sessions. Our game has specific contents warnings of death, revival, a little bit of body horror from last session. We shouldn't have it this time, and just emotional things. I would like to pick up at dinner, or at least shortly after Hale has threatened Vago after he told him to clean up his face and get back inside. Shortly after Luce has been playing with children and Mariana has assisted time in getting dinner all set up. Eventually, everybody is called for dinner. Time requests that Basil goes and gets their guest, and Uma will assist Jokal to the table. The kids swarm, get in what their seats are, and you are all also invited.
What if they didn't invite us? That'd be super awkward.
No, they definitely did invite you.
So what are y'all having?
So let's go play in the dirt outside.
Okay.
I mean, Mariana doesn't know anything, so Mariana's like, and I helped, and is like carrying things out from the kitchen. Like, have you ever seen that clip of the little girl who walks in her dad who's doing a newscast, where she's just like, that's what she's like. That's what Mariana's very proud of herself.
Hey, I got an important question for you super quick.
Yeah.
Do you go with Basil to assist Trina to the table? Or do you just let him handle it?
He'll help Basil.
Okay. Anyway.
Hale
Time.
immediately sits next to Trina, and he's going to be that attentive friend who isn't really who's there to help, but let them do what they need to do to eat. If their hand like goes to knock something over, his hand is immediately like grabbing the cup, setting it back down, and going back to his own meal.
Luce, Vago, and Mariana, when Basil and Hale both return, they are assisting a weak woman to the table who has this very messy curly hair who bears a striking resemblance to Emily.
There's 4 of you?
Where did the other 2 come from?
What?
There's 4 partners.
No, says this woman who is like just flabbergasted that you would even suggest that.
Well, there's all the children, and then there's
No offense, but I do not want children of any sort whatsoever. Give me like 3 dogs. The parents, Time, Uma, and Jokul are having like a cackle at this situation.
I didn't mean to make anybody upset. I don't mean to be rude, but who are you?
My name is Trina.
They've been to Perth, so they know Emily.
I've been to Perth. I'm from Perth. Emily is my sister. Did you not tell them about me after you said I'm looking for you in Edmonds, or?
I did.
This is your friend that you left.
That was a very blunt way to put it.
Yep.
A little. Never mind. Time, thank you for dinner. I will do my best to get as much down as I can. She just kind of sits there a little awkward. The kids are none the wiser as they have already begun serving themselves, and it's family style.
Mariana will, she knew that she messed up when she said that when you left, because it was like, ding, that's how it in her head, that's how it is. But she's kind of shrinks small and will just take little tiny scoops of everything. Just really sadly.
The silence is deafening with this very unexpected, awkward comments and scene. Luce and Vago, how are y'all feeling?
I think I want to let Vago give their vibes first, because Luce is staying attentive to the whole group, so I think it depends on how Vago's doing right now. How's it going over there, bud? What are you doing over there, buddy?
Yeah, Vago's not really saying much, if anything at all. They're kind of just looking down, like trying not to look at Trina and Hale, like maybe shooting a glance at both of them before just looking away, just kind of eating in silence, just really, really trying hard just not to look at them.
Vago, do you know this woman? Have you met before?
No, we haven't.
Turns to look at Trina, just keeps that in mind, but keeps things going, and passes over. Make sure to gesture over to Trina, to get her attention. Is there anything on this side of the table that I can get you that's a little bit easier for me to reach?
Bread would be great. Thank you.
Fantastic.
We are back. Sorry. Trina lets the awkward slat. Not Trina.
Time.
Thank you.
Time.
Too many T's and A's and M's in this entire game. Time takes a second to let y'all get some food before piping up again. I just wanted to say thank you again for bringing back Jokul, and if there's anything we can do to help or show our gratitude, that would be appreciated.
Well, I can't really think of anything at the moment.
This is good.
You're also welcome to stay the night. We have plenty of blankets. It might have to be on the hard floor, but
We're used to roughing it. It's fine. Actually, I was wondering, Trina, how do you feel? How far along are you in your recovery process?
I'm not going anywhere for a while.
All right. Because we have to head back to Perth anyway.
The Sage Bens have said that I could stay here as long as I need, so
We are grateful for you taking care of Hale's friend. We do appreciate it.
Uma pipes up. Well, when she just kind of showed up on our front doorstep, we're not going to turn away someone in need.
Huh.
Trina looks at you. Huh? What are you huh-ing about?
Well, we were much further south than this when, things happened.
Yeah.
How'd you end up all the way here?
That might not be appropriate dinner discussion.
Yep, you are correct. You always are.
I don't mind talking about it, just not. And then she kind of looks over at the kids.
Right. I could distract them after dinner. Sure, Hardy would like to stretch his wings.
Jokul also kind of leans a little closer. He's not near you at the table, but he's just we'll be getting them ready for bed, don't worry. You will have the evening to yourselves. One of the kids is I don't want to go to bed. I want to hear stories.
I'd be happy to assist with that. All of you, looks over at all the kids. All of you, would you like one more ride up into the sky?
The toddler, Frit, thumb in mouth, nodding furiously.
Vago, I think you would benefit from enjoying joining me in all of this.
Is Vago gonna get uppies too?
No, Vago will not get uppies. Vago will help with the uppies.
I'm strong as shit. We are the same strength. I can take you.
I know. I don't care. Vago will not be getting the uppies.
You could, though. You could.
But just get Vago's attention and just sort of be like, Vago, would you be willing to join me with taking care of that? It's the least that we can do to repay you for the kindness.
Yeah, I can help.
After that, the Sage Bens kind of take it into a more neutral discussion of, what did you do today while we were all working? What kind of fun did you have? Did you have fun with Luce getting the first set of uppies? And just non-serious discussion. Is there anything else you would like to talk about at dinner?
Not at dinner, but after dinner is finished, Ariana would like to go sit next to Trina.
With Basil and or Hale's assistance, or Hale and or Basil's assistance. Probably more so Hale. Basil's going to help with the kids. At least helping them get all their plates all set up and just brought to kitchen for cleaning and so on and so forth. She does end up taking like that spot where Jokel was earlier on like a couch, just with like a blanket, and she will incline her head at you as you sit down.
Hi, Trina. My name's Mariana.
Nice to meet you, Mariana.
I just wanted to apologize. I didn't mean to say what I said earlier.
It was just surprising and felt like it was placing blame on Hale. So
I think he's sort of placing blame on himself.
that sounds like him.
It's kind of. I think maybe that's why I said it. It feels like he. I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll. I just wanted to say I was sorry.
Thanks. I've been, to be fair, I've been more than a little more irritable than normal after what has happened. So, sorry for getting short.
No, it's okay. Seems like a lot happened, huh?
Yeah, and once your friends have helped with the kids, Hale did come talk to me earlier. Wasn't expecting him. Let's put it that way. But I've been thinking more and trying to remember more. Because it sounds like he's going to go back out and try and find Edmund and any way I can help more.
Do you know where your other friends are? Or when did you last see them?
I think Hale's also going to want to hear this. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that makes sense.
My information is all your information, but I don't want to tell a story more than once.
No, that makes sense. I left some people behind back home, and it hurts to do that. And it's not the same, but I kind of know how Hale feels, and I'm glad that he found you.
It was pure luck, but I'm not going to complain.
Mariana will pat her, like if it's her like hand or like her leg, whatever, wherever she's sitting. That's like a close, but she just like a little gentle pat and excuse herself to go help clean up from dinner or be busy and awkward somewhere else.
Hale Lusvaga.
Hale had begun to help with the plates, but then probably got pushed out of the kitchen.
Probably.
Turns to see like Trina and Mariana talking. Looks like they're in a deep conversation. Turns to see Luce and Vago like playing uppies with the kids, but they're all like getting their like attention. He just like, well, what good am I then? So he just like in a joking way, not like a self-deprecating way. Well, sort of self-deprecating way.
Basil kind of pats your shoulder as he hears you say that. Take the rest while you can. Take the respite.
Actually, I have an idea. We found a couple of things, and I want to get some experience with it before actually field testing. I'll be outside.
Have fun.
You'll step outside a couple of feet away from the like the porch area and uncork the bottle that he has. I imagine he pours it out along his arm, and the ink kind of undulates and writhes before shooting outward with like the mist of snow flurry.
Oh, that's cool.
Just swing it a couple of times just to test the balance of this ink sword that he got now.
And the babysitters.
I think Luce is like preparing like the uppies, especially and says like tells the kids to like get in a line for whoever does want to go through with all of these goes outside, but make sure like if at any given point Vago is looking like, oh, I think you've got this covered, I'm gonna go and like be existentially angsting over there, it's just like, no, you are staying here. But also is just sort of directly, what happened?
I'd really rather not talk about it.
Well, that's unfortunate, because I would like to know, why are you being so tense and having that face you always make when you are trying to confront something you don't want to?
Hale and I had a talk, let's say you could call it. Wasn't really a good one. Guessing it had to do with the fact that Hale just found Trina there.
Mm-hmm. And why would Hale be upset at you regarding Trina? It should be a positive and a delightful occasion. Why are you bummed about it?
That's Hale's side of the story to tell.
I'm asking you, what did you do?
I didn't do anything, Luce.
You don't know that. You even confessed there's a lot of things you don't know, and yet you're taking on the brunt of the blame for this. At least your mannerism suggests that.
At least I don't think I did anything. But I just have a really bad feeling about something. Just I think it has to do with Trina.
Mm-hmm. And what's the worst case scenario if you find out you did do something terrible? By the way, this is all punctuated by every now and then as a kid comes up, she is just chucked someone up in the air.
It's just Frit and Aurora. The
Frit and Crump doesn't-
Brazel obviously is 17 and does not want uppies. Absolutely not.
Oh, come on.
And Rory's in that weird preteen stage of like, no.
Is it no?
No.
Sounds about right.
Maybe if no one's looking.
No. They are like just hitting their growth spurt, starting to also get the gangly, like preteen limbs. They're just like, no. They go get ready for bed.
Well,
Honestly, I don't know, like what I would do if I found out. If my fears did come true, I don't know what I would do. Myself, people around me, mostly myself, but yeah.
would you leave? Would you run away from all of it?
That would certainly be an option.
But is that one you're going to make use of?
Probably not.
I didn't take you to be a coward, Vago.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or.
It is. You've been with our group, you've helped protect us, you've helped protect me, you've helped support all of us, and we've tried to support you. You did not know what I had done in my past. I gave you a name that ultimately means nothing now, and yet it means everything to me. You did not know whether I was a monster, and yet you listened to whatever words I gave you just a short time ago and seemed to be at peace from it.
Yeah, but I guess I was at peace with it, but that was before I found out. So much worse than I could have ever thought. Just how deep this goes, just how depraved it could possibly be.
I ask you again. If you do find out that you are a monster, what are you going to do?
I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it, but nothing good, probably.
If I may offer a piece of advice. If I may.
Yeah, sure.
Get out of your head. You do this every time. Every time something remotely looks like the past will be terrible for you. When last I told you, you need to be able to walk away from those such things. I did not mean walk away from the consequences and the harm you did. I meant walk away from the guilt of it. The past is heavy. It will always be a burden for what we've failed to do and all the things that we did do. Stop treating it like an anchor that has to weigh you down the entire time. Otherwise, you're just going to keep repeating this on and on for years on end, wishing so many things were different, when you have no control over that. But you have control over now.
I don't know how to put it down, Angela. Loose. I don't know how to put it down, Loose.
You're welcome. I'm glad that registered from both of our sakes.
It did. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know how to put it down, Loose.
Like last uppy puts the kid away. All right, go and get ready for bed. We're done for now. I will do more for you, and I'll do more for you tomorrow. I promise.
Thank you, big lady.
Big lady will always be here for you.
Aurora
Vago.
runs off, pulling Frit along.
Like puts a hand on Vago's shoulder and looks at you directly. Not as like Luce the Vanguard, Luce the Bastion, but just Luce, just looking at as Lucia. Except people will be angry with you, or disappointed, or happy. Remarkably, some people will forgive you. Because they see what you will be now. Unless you would like to continue being a monster, then it will become a problem for us, and I will consider in those moments what the consequences will be for you from me. But that is what I would say to anyone in this group if they posed a threat to us. I will not judge you for your past. I will judge you for what you do now. Get out of your head.
I'll slowly nod at that, but you could tell you could tell on their pain. They have a pained look on their face that says it's going to be easier said than done for them. But
It always is. Now, here's the first bridge. Would you like company crossing it?
please,
Okay. Like, offers an arm for you to walk in with her.
Vago takes it.
Also, that was very good bread. I think it's been a very long time since we've had homemade bread, since Perth. Perth was the last time we really got to have bread, and I miss it so much. It's really the only thing I ever actually missed when we were out of settlements and such.
That was the one thing I always missed from here. Their food. Well,
Good.
them, of course, but their food is always good. It was always good.
Good food is one of the most important things. No. come on. And just sort of like takes you strongly. If you have any resistance, she's like, I'm the same strength as you. We're both. This will either we will stop or we will go. You are not going back.
Vago accepts it and just goes with Luce.
Inside is you probably pass Hale, who's probably a little far away, messing with their new sword. Mariana's on the couch with Trina, and it looks like both Uma and Jokul have left the immediate communal area, and Time is just in the kitchen, and she waves to the two of you coming in. As she is, look like she is putting on a pot of tea. And she motions for you all to come this way. That's to Vago and Luce when you enter.
Yeah, Vago, yeah.
When you get closer, she gently, comfortingly puts a hand on your shoulder. I'm putting some tea on for you and your friends if you are staying up a little later.
Thank you. We probably will be.
I wasn't aware that your friend knew Trina, so I have a feeling at least some of you would want to catch up. So, tea. Unfortunately, I don't have any cookies made today, but not much I can do about that.
You've already given us bed space and such. Well, in a manner of speaking, we appreciate it. And your children have been an absolute blessing to interact with.
Thank you for wearing them out.
I don't get to do this sort of thing very often, so it's as much a joy for me as it is for others, I'm sure.
Vago, the tea is just steeping. If I can leave you to gather the cups, I'm gonna head off and spend some much needed quality time with my partners.
I can handle it.
She'll give you a hug.
Vago will hug back.
Angela, stop.
It's cute.
I know it is. It is. It is adorable. Okay.
It's adorable.
And she will leave. And it's just kind of like that quiet in the house, right? As just after the sun has set, and you only hear the loud, the far off laughter of kids in the distance. How long does it take for you to come back in?
He has found himself a new toy. Unless someone comes out to get him, he is not coming back in.
Are you just lashing this thing out at different places or what have you?
Wiping the air. What has the air ever done to you?
Actually, I was gonna have a cool hail moment, but now
Now you would skip work.
Sorry.
Insert Link swinging sword grunts here.
Jeez.
Yeah.
it's a moment for Hale where he's finding a time to center himself through the repetitive motion of just slashing over and over again. He gets it in his head that, wait a minute, this is ink. We use ink. So he pulls out his other sword. And he begins to essentially do these martial art katas with dual-wielding weapons, where he slashes with the regular sword first, pulls it back, slashes with the ice sword, and then he flips the regular sword around and slams the pommels together. The ink fuses with the pommels, and he spins this now double-bladed weapon over his head and slashes downward before unfusing them.
And then he becomes a Sith.
And then he turns to Vago and says, "You've disappointed me for the last time." Before shoots him.
I was wondering because I think Luce would go and fetch you, Hale. And I think in the midst of you swinging around what I'm just headcanoning as a thief sword in my head, just a double-bladed thief sword, in the middle of that as you're just like doing the last pose, you just see a glaive just like sail by your head and land nearby you, and then you just hear like a snap, and like you just turn around, you see her call the glaive back to her hand.
Show off much.
This coming from you.
I'm practicing. And Hale flips loose the bird, and the ink sword begins to retract back into the middle of his hand. He pulls out the bottle and lets it drip back in.
She chucks the glaive right in between your legs.
Ah!
Practicing. Come
I'm
in.
not using live targets. And Neil,
It's much more interesting this way.
We are a band of animals. The whole charade is more
What?
than I can bear. The Swan Princess, when they were practicing archery.
Oh god, it's been so
Oh
long
my
since
God.
I've seen that
Oh,
movie.
wow. I just went back to being like 7. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah.
Oh my
God.
god.
That one song lives rent free in my head.
Will now live rent free in all of our heads now.
I'm gonna rewatch it soon. I have to.
It does not.
It's my favorite Disney non-Disney movie. Okay. You head back in. Vago, I'm assuming you're getting cups for whoever
Yeah.
wants tea. Mariana and Trina are in the communal area on couches. Trina's just kind of like under a blanket, looking cozy, like she does not want to move whatsoever. And she's just kind of watching as everyone is eventually, I'm hoping, convening together.
You know that familiar thing that some people do where if you're laying lengthwise along a couch, they'll just scoot you under and lift your legs to put on their lap. Hale does that.
She just gives you a look, but this is normal Hale behavior, so she does not object whatsoever.
I too wish for blanket. Snuggles in.
You do realize that the Sagebends weave and make blankets, and they have offered multiple blankets for
No, but I
everyone
want-
to sleep under.
I want this one.
Fine. Take a cup of tea. It looks like she's waiting for y'all first.
It all started when I was born.
I'm going to kill him.
I won't stop you on this occasion. He has fired me from his charge, so it is well within your right to do so.
Mariana's just sitting intently. She's been waiting to hear the story for like this whole evening. So now like she's ready to hear what happened. She's just staring.
Like, intently.
Yes, very much with the intention, like.
First off, we kind of got off on the wrong foot during dinner. I'm Trina.
I already told you, but I'm Mariana.
Hale, you do not need
Liz.
to introduce yourself.
Damn it.
Lucia. Or Luce, if you prefer.
Vago.
I don't know how much Hale has told you.
I think it best
Pretty-
to start from the beginning and just tell the whole thing as best you can.
So, in Perth, there really isn't much going on. Farming community, apiaries, that sort of thing. Sometimes some of the travelers get hired out to watch caravans going up and down the roads to different towns. But there was a group of us who had heard that there was something strange happening in the south. Thought we had enough experience to go check it out.
And we haven't had any adventure, to put it simply.
Trina, Edmund, and I went to go and investigate a pillar that we had heard cropped up. When we got there, I think we were a little bit in over our heads. You know my story from here. I was knocked out from behind. Woke up at Vale Point. Woke up in Vale Point. Waited about a week for Trina and Edmund to arrive, but they never came. So I took it upon myself to go out and try.
I guess this is where my story picks up. Edmund and I, when we got separated from Hale, we thought it was just Hale being Hale, taking a sidetrack, as he is wont to do, and would catch back up with us as we were wandering what people were calling a pillar. We heard a huge pillar of ink rose into the sky, and then, as Hale said, we kind of went to go check it out. At some point, while we were looking around this ink-filled landscape, it was covering all the grasses. It was climbing up bark. But while we were waiting for Hale, myself and Edmund got ambushed. We didn't see them right away, or I actually didn't see them at all. But when I woke up, I was no longer with Edmund. I do not know where he went, and I don't know. But the folks that took me, some were dressed in white, some were robed, but they took us, I think, south for a bit. Eventually made our way to, it was cold and dark and wet and underground. I remember a slash of light in the sky, I think a canyon of some sort. But I was with some other travelers. We were held against our will. A lot of ink. A lot of magic that I do not understand. And eventually one morning, I felt pain in my hands. And I did not have print marks anymore. Which to everyone except to Hale, this is news. New news.
Oh, what? What do you mean?
She kind of puts her hands out in front of her, puts them palm face up, and you don't see any print marks.
Not even her, like...
She has regular fingerprints,
okay.
But she doesn't
I
have...
was like, they took the whole thing!
No, but she doesn't have print marks.
They took them from you?
I'm going to just assume yes.
How does that even... And she's sort of just looking around at everybody, like, when she asks that question. So it's not necessarily to Trina, but it's just sort of to the group, like, how?
Your guess is as good as mine. I have never ever heard of a traveler losing their print marks.
Except through death and getting consumed by a printless.
I don't know. That just seems really impossible.
And yet,
Do you think you can get him back?
My priority is getting better, going back to Perth eventually, and finding Edmund. But right now, I can only do one of those.
Well, so they didn't take you together, right? Otherwise you would have seen him. So maybe he's okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, what does he look like?
Who?
Edmund. What does Edmund look like? She takes out her notebook.
Yeah, what does Edmund look like? RJ, what does Edmund look like?
Dark-skinned, male, mask-presenting individual, burly and tall, kind of like loose size. Think of like a big old grizzly bear. He's got long dreads, the last time Hale saw him, that are tied up into a ponytail. And he has the kindest eyes.
Mariana, however you describe Edmund, writes this all down.
But after I woke up without, she wiggles her fingers. Some point, I heard them talking about having to dispose of. And they took me somewhere else. We traveled a bit. And that's when I made my escape and ended up here.
You were really brave to come all this way.
She gives a look, like a face that she's like, she doesn't really agree with you, but like she doesn't say anything.
No, it really was though. You must have felt really bad, and you still, without your parents, you just.
When she says this, Hale. Referring to Edmund.
Found you. I'm sure I can find Edmund.
Do you plan on going back to the pillar?
It crossed my mind. I really want to find out what had happened that day. Maybe there are traces, tracks. There has to be something.
Can I be selfish? This is more of a group question, because it sounds like you're all in this together, and just strictly asking you, Hale, I can't make a whole group decision, so.
Do you need a favor?
Yeah.
We've already got a lot of favors. Let's go ahead and add it.
Can you take a look for my equipment at the pillars?
Okay, I have some questions. Sometimes pillars don't look like big pillars. What did this one look like?
A lot of ink kind of just flooding the area. At least a little bit. I don't know. Am I remembering correctly, Hale?
No, that sounds about right.
Okay. What were you carrying with you?
Standard gear weapons, but I'm only looking for my mom's harp.
You did take that with you, didn't you?
It's my living. And it's sentimental.
What's a harp?
It's a musical instrument. Stringed.
Okay. She writes down in her book lots of strings.
I'll know what to look for.
Okay. Hale, you'll know when we're there, right? So we don't, in case there's like a different one, we'll know we're at the right place.
Yeah. Unless dying that first time messed with my memories. Pretty sure he's retracing the steps in his head. If you didn't stray too far off the main road, then I could follow the tracks.
Okay, well, how far away was it when you went from Perth to the pillar?
So we kind of went to Vale Point first
Got it. Okay.
and then headed south.
So it's past Vale Point, like further down.
It's actually southeast from here. And it's in the direction of a town by the name of... She's snapping her fingers for a second. By the name of Clover Point. Vago, this name sounds incredibly familiar.
Mariana's flipping to her map and trying to see.
Also, RJ, this is the town that I was asking you about, and if you've ever been in that direction before. So you've been there.
Okay.
And Vago, it's familiar, but not in like the pain stabby way. This is like a nostalgia familiar, a homesick familiar. Are you okay?
He does this sometimes.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
Clover Point, what does that place look like?
It's a town.
Does it have Printweaver there?
She nods.
So if we have to go that way, we could talk to the Printweaver and if something happens, we don't have to go that far. And that way we don't turn into ink slugs.
Ink slugs.
No, don't worry about it. Let her have this one.
Just don't question it.
Okay. Ink slugs. Anyway.
I had to bring him back. We hadn't talked about him in a while.
You can never escape the ink slugs.
They never go away.
Inside jokes aside, did you find that? My harp.
I will definitely look for it.
I wrote it down so I'll remember.
Thank you. Can I answer any questions? I know I am forgetting things, but maybe pointed questions will help.
Was Edmund also from Perth?
Mm-hmm.
That's Anna's father.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Okay.
This is a difficult question, but I feel we must be prepared for it. Do you remember what they used in terms of weapons and or ways of hurting you? I do
Physical
not need to describe in detail, but I would like to know. It would help us.
I'm pretty sure at least one of them had a club.
What if they just punched you really hard?
Then they must have been as strong as you, Lusovago.
But not as strong as me, right?
I don't remember what weapons they were carrying on the ambush. Though, as Hale said, probably clubs. Most likely. But when I was being, for lack of a better term, escorted, standard swords, bladed weapons, shields, heavily armored in white, along with some less armored, from what I can assume, spellcasters.
The
Ugh.
the spellcaster people, what were they wearing?
They were just mostly dressed like normal folks. Not in any fancy regalia, like the vibe from the others. They did not seem to like each other, though. There was a lot of bickering.
Mariana will look at Hale. Think it's those same people that you saw before?
Probably.
Mariana will look at Vago. Just worried, not say anything.
Vago's gonna share that same look of worry on their face. Trina, did you notice any sort of iconography on any of the people who were escorting you? Like any symbols or anything?
All of the folks who were wearing shields kind of looked like a flower, stylized. The others,
The circles, remember? You told me about that?
yes, sorry, thank you.
I see. Thank you.
We're not going to stay long. As soon as the sun's up, I think we're going to hit the road. Is there anything you want me to pass along to M?
You're going back to Perth?
I sort of have to. I was going to offer to carry you all the way there, but if you want to stay here and recover, it's your prerogative.
I just don't want anyone to carry me. That's just so incredibly risky.
Well, we made Jokol a little thing that we carried him in. We could carry you in that.
Let's see how I feel in the morning. Speaking of, if you didn't have any more questions, I do want to go to sleep.
Hale will gingerly turn the legs towards the sitting position and help Trina up towards the bed. Not carrying her.
She
But
would
just-
hit you so hard.
Support.
I'll see you in the morning. Yeah.
Good night.
You escort her and head back.
So, big plot between Paragons and Magnus' cycles, huh?
Seems that way.
I don't understand how. This just seems really... It just doesn't seem right. It's just that... What do you know about the Paragon?
Only the things I've heard from other travelers. They do not like us in the slightest.
It's kind of an understatement.
I wanted to spare any feelings you still have.
It's okay. I just want you all to understand how dangerous this is. If a traveler were to go into where I used to live, they would try to kill them on the spot. So the fact that they're teaming up with travelers, something's not right.
Odds are, there's some weird clandestine prophecy that's forcing the two to work together. Or something like that. I don't know, it feels really like... Turns to Maria, I'm sorry. And to Vago, I'm sorry. Very culty. You know?
I don't know.
Neither would I.
I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what situation would arise that would ever have the Paragon. She sort of just trails off. Like, she really just can't think of a... Like, it's like beyond like when hell freezes over that would happen. It's like, it's really unimaginable.
Have you ever seen a crowd, an unruly one, suddenly beset by something much more terrifying and bigger than them?
Like when we were at Vale Point.
People will unite in order to save their own skins if they think something much bigger and much more terrifying is there. They are willing to set aside the worst of grievances.
Some kind of common enemy, maybe, then?
I can't help but think that giant thing that we saw flying by is, if only tangentially related, along the same category of what they think a bad for both of them would be.
You mean this guy, the dragon?
Whatever it was.
Are they that bad? I mean, it was big, but it was just kind of whoosh.
It's a moment of just loose staring with a look on her face that, like every other Dark Souls player that's died to the same boss 300 times has probably had at some point or another. It's like, you don't know. You don't know how bad it gets.
Maybe what happened at Vale Point is happening across the country. We just haven't heard of it yet.
Well, if it's happening in places that have ink for protection, what does that mean for places who don't?
they will be the first to go, or be trampled very quickly.
Mariana gets teary-eyed, knowing that her home doesn't have any ink protection because, for lack of a better word, it's unholy. So-
Well, it looks like when the morning comes, we'll be setting out to find some answers.
to Perth
That's-
first, right?
Yeah, Perth first. Have to meet up with the professor and tell Em that her sister's kicking. For lack of a better word.
She wasn't really kicking very much.
Oh, I'm sure when she gets her strength, she will kick my ass up and down this riverbed.
Did you earn it?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's just to keep me humble, honestly. I like it, though. Dry chuckle.
I'm tired.
Hi, tired. I'm Hale.
Mariana will just sort of take some blankets and make the best of sleeping on the floor.
There are plenty of blankets.
So many.
There's so many blankets. It's Vaga, you would know that the kids would frequently make blanket forts. So they are within grabbing distance at all times.
There's already a pre-made blanket fort. Hale's gonna scuttle under that.
There is not a pre-made blanket fort.
Dang it! Disappointment!
The parents do ask that their kids clean up after themselves.
Well, they ask. It doesn't mean that they do it.
There are older siblings there to keep the younger ones.
That's true.
Check.
Basil will keep him in line.
Depends. They've been on their best behavior since there have been guests. Y'all go to sleep, and y'all wake up in the morning to the sound, just to more tea being made. Doesn't look like anyone's in the process of making breakfast, but Basil is in the kitchen along with Uma.
Luce will make a beeline earlier in the morning to come and help them.
It looks like they haven't started yet, but it's just going to be porridge.
Would you like me to take over on doing that?
If you wouldn't mind, I'm going to go... This is Uma. I'm going to go get Jokul and Time and start getting the kids up for the day. Get to work.
Fair enough. Are you a sweet household or are you a savory household?
Yes. We do both. Whatever suits your fancy today.
I like both.
Hale just walking into the kitchen to get a glass of water. Just make it plain and have everyone do it themselves at the table.
No. I feed
It's
you,
a
you eat what I feed you.
Oh no, that's the Spanish mom.
Mama Lucia energy right there. Mama Lucia.
I'm Aunt Lucia, motherfuckers. Auntie Lucia is going to make you the best porridge ever, but if you don't like the particular flavorings, tough shit.
Uma
Made with
leaves.
tough love. Made with tough love.
Uma leaves. Basil stays and guides you through things you should definitely not add.
No, she knows. It's only when Hale asks specifically or gives an input that she's just being
It's
She's
more
not
so
letting
from
them
a
eat
you
it.
should definitely not add this ingredient because they
Right.
will not eat
Some
it.
of them-
Period.
Either they will not eat it, or probably some of them are allergic.
Yeah,
Or something.
basically.
So yeah, no, she follows Basil's suggestions to a T. It's the most motherly you have ever seen Luce, and probably the only time ever. It's probably extremely unnerving to see Luce in the armor doing it. Well, I think she hasn't put on her armor just yet.
Yeah, I
It's
was
much more
about to
comfortable
say.
do it. Yeah, she's not in the armor or
Slept in
anything.
it?
No, she took it off. What the fuck?
Please do
I'm
not
not
sleep.
gonna look.
Please don't sleep
I'm
in metal
aware we
armor.
have limited screen time here, Amber, the player. I'm not gonna every single time go through the motions of saying Luce undoes every single bit of her gauntlets, the fucking pauldrons and everything that she has on. You want me to do that?
I
Fun
would-
fact: to doff armor, it takes about 10 minutes with help.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Moving
Dress-
on.
Moving on from sexy fanfic Luce. Anyways,
Y'all can make your own fan fiction behind the scenes, but no, it's not the time for it.
Already on it.
Oh dear God.
Our fan artists, however, fan artists.
get to work. Remember, she's
Anyway.
6'5".
Eventually, sorry. Anyway, breakfast is made, and eventually the kids come out, as do the parents. And y'all have a lovely, wonderful breakfast. Where, along with Trina is also helped out by Time. Time looks at the three of you. Trina said that you might be heading back to Perth.
Yes, we've some business.
Not that I don't want to take care of Trina, but we ended up with a cart suddenly. If you wanted to take it. It's not ours, but Bago, do you remember Sydney?
Yeah.
Sydney's horse and cart ended up here the other day without him.
Vago remembers what happened to Sydney. Yeah. We found Sydney in the forest.
I had a feeling that's what happened. That's what happened. We saw him days prior. And it might be quicker than going on foot. And that way you don't have to worry about Trina and she can get home.
Be much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. We can pack you some simple fare to at least get there. With the horse, it should be really quick.
Oh, ooh.
Is everything okay?
I never learned how to drive.
What's the horse's name?
Oh God, what the fuck is the horse's name?
Biscuit.
I didn't think that was going to be the hard question, Mare.
I like Biscuit. We're gonna go with Biscuit.
I can see if maybe Biscuit will like me. Maybe I can help. I'm sure Mariana has had to ride horses before.
Yeah, true. Probably.
Running this Biscuit horse.
We can start hitching up Biscuit, and then are you leaving today, or should we wait?
He'll look to the rest of the party.
We should. How long is it from here to Perth? It's not long, right? Especially on
Much
horse.
quicker. You'll probably be there. I was looking at the map earlier, and it's probably like a day.
We should probably leave today, especially if we've got to go to Perth and then back southeast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sounds like you're leaving today. Okay. In that
Oh.
case, we'll take break 3 minutes early. And hey, everybody, we will be back soon. Please hydrate, pet your pet, stretch, and we will see you soon. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are back from break for session 7 of Pillars of Ink, a Printweaver game. We last left off with our players waking up from a lovely little sleep in the home of the Sagebends, family friends of Vago. And time has offered the use of a cart and horse that kind of wandered its way back to their property from the merchant Sydney that they found turned into a monster several days ago. So, it's a very sad finders keepers situation. Yeah.
Agreed. Do the Sagebends know how to like tack up a horse and stuff?
Uma does. But, very rusty.
Mariana will help.
Yeah.
With that part.
While you are assisting with that, Time asks for your assistance, Hale, in bundling up Trina and bringing it. And then also asks yours and Basil. Well, Time tells Basil, and she asks you, Vago, to like get some food for your group together to bring for the trip.
Yeah, Vago will go do that.
Just there's a lot of light stuff, some bread, some fruit, crunchy vegetables, carrot sticks, you know, the whole shebang. Get those veggies in there. Hale, Trina does not have a lot of stuff. The clothes she had on her back were not even her own.
I think Mariana on the sly will ask if they could spare extra blankets so that she could make a little comfy
Nest.
nest for Trina.
Yeah. Uma gives you a wink, gives you a little nod, and will like skedaddle.
while they're tacking up horses, Mariana will help make a little nice spot for her in the back.
Yeah, Uma will get those extra blankets for you. Like she was already going to be brought with a couple, but like you get a couple extra more.
Hale setting Trina down into the blanket of nest, and there is like that shit-eating grin on his face.
She's so disgruntled.
Hey, Tree, you know what this reminds me of?
I'm not going to ask, but I know you're going to tell me anyway.
You remember when the Crestwicks had that calf, and we had to drive it all the way down to the next town over for medical assistance?
Yes.
You're the calf.
I can see that.
Trina, may I ask something?
Sure.
Should you ever be interested, would you like to see Hale do uppies?
I would love that. And she just gives you a return wicked grin, Hale.
I don't like this game anymore. I'm removing myself from it.
Wait, how tall is everyone again? I know Mariana's 5'10", Luce is 6'5". How tall are the other two again?
Hale is like 5'9", 5'8".
Okay.
I think Vago's like 5'7", 5'6".
I want to give Vago
just
a
taller.
And
just taller than Vago. It's great.
I'll put Vago on my shoulders and be like, look at us. We're loose.
You're all still
Vago's
really
just got, like, the most,
fucking
like-
tall.
Vago's got the most deadpan look on their face. I'm like, please. Why am I here?
I've met Mare in real life, so I know how short Mare is.
I'm short. I'm 5'3". Let's.
Me too.
Yeah,
Small.
you're small. Okay. Trina is nestled in the back. There is enough room either on like the top where you would be leading the horse off the reins and driving the cart, and there is room for everyone else to sit comfortably.
I think before we leave, Mariana is going to give a pep talk to Biscuit.
Oh,
And she's going to introduce herself. We'll RP. Hi, Biscuit. I'm Mariana. I know that things are probably really weird because your owner they're gone, and but I was hoping that you would help us.
head in chest.
She'll give it like a nice little rub on the nose. And listen, if we find something really yummy along the way, you can eat it, okay?
She tries to go for your hair.
It's probably down. Like, I'm sure she's braided it to have it be back, so in case they are speedy, then it's not, blowing all over the place. So she's braided it down.
Yeah.
And maybe when we get to Burn, I can braid your hair too.
She keeps trying to eat your hair.
And so she'll like hold her face for like a small little moment and give her a little smooch on the nose. And then she'll go like get ready to drive the cart.
Oh, Mariana, do you mind if I sit up front with you? I'd like to learn how to drive a cart.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. There's plenty of room.
Thanks. I think.
Vago, before you go, all the sage bends are waiting outside for you.
Vago
And-
smiles and heads over.
Time is taking the lead on this, and she'll like take your hands and like look up at you. You're always welcome back here. Remember that, okay?
I will. Thank you for everything.
I hope everything goes okay.
So do I.
You ready for hugs from everyone?
I think I am.
And like kind of like at that, it's just I hope you can breathe because you're just kind of like bombarded on all sides. And whenever y'all are ready, you can go on your way. So, Perth. It only takes about a day. There is a bridge. That's the word I'm looking for. There is a bridge more south towards the river where that you can cross. You do need to skirt the forest a little bit, and it's eerie quiet, just like it was when you began to leave. And the weather is fair, a couple clouds, but overall it is a very quick trip. And eventually you see Perth on the horizon, just as you left it, with its big rocks surrounding the outside, keeping monsters out. You can see some of the apiary, the bee boxes on the hill. And everything is as you left it. Had you going for a second, didn't I?
When they stop off at the Printweaver's house at Emily's and Trina's, Hale will hop off the cart and walk over to the door to knock. Delivery!
Hale, why are you back already? And you know you don't have to knock coming in, right?
I've got a special present for you.
Can it wait like 2 seconds because I'm up to my elbows in dough?
You know what? I'll bring it in.
Good idea. If your friends are here too, they're all welcome.
Y'all want bread?
Bread. I love bread.
Luce has already gone past the party, going inside.
I will help Trina in, and we can come in last if you would like that, Hale.
Yeah.
Being all dramatic like.
It's very on brand, though, don't you
It,
think?
it really fucking is.
You're going to need to sign.
The Luce and I'm assuming Vago, you're also going in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Luce and Vago and Hale go in. Hale being a little fucking shit. Y'all like not Trina. Emily's back is to like the entrance, and as she said, she's in the middle of kneading dough. Like there's several loaves proving, and there's some already left off to the side. And then Mariana in the back. She turns to give Hale another lashing, probably. And then she sees Trina, who's just giving like a weak little smile. And Mariana, you're just like when you brought Jokul back to the Sage Bends, your assistance is not needed. As the two sisters embrace, begin crying. And like over Trina's shoulder, you all just get a look from Emily of like, thank you. But also, Hale, you get a get the fuck out look.
Shrug.
If you come back later, you can have unlimited bread as much as you want.
Neat.
Neat.
What do I say here?
That's pretty swell.
Gee golly willikers, we'll be back for unlimited breadstick at the Olive Garden.
Trina like pulls back, gives her sister a look, like really, and we'll turn back to the group. Thank you.
I'm just glad we found you. She'll look at Hale a little bit too when she says that.
I make good on promises, even if I luck into them.
If you... Emily's just holding her sister, but then is just like, let's get you washed up, some of your own clothes. We'll get you settled in.
Trina,
Yeah?
were you by any chance, do you have any skill with the bow by any chance?
I know how to use one.
If
My sister was
she's still-
always a better shot, but I'm not unskilled.
Well, should you need it, and Emily still has it, there's a bow that I'm absolute rubbish with that should still be here. You might want to take it off of her hands.
We'll see. And like, you kind of get the sense that she realizes it's an ink weapon. But she doesn't really have use for an ink weapon anymore. And by ink weapon, I mean it's just imbued with ink to be magical. Gifts given to travelers.
Well, okay, listen though. Just because you get your ink taken away doesn't mean you're not a traveler anymore, okay?
She didn't say it, but that's the emotions going off of her all over her face. Before I go off and help my sister, there were a bunch of researchers that came into town saying they saw you.
Yeah, so where are they set up?
They kind of are just at the tavern. They've kind of just taken up residence in the main area. They're just chilling with people.
All right. See you later.
See you soon. We'll be here.
Yeah, he'll leave.
Y'all gonna go check him out?
I mean,
Sorry. I got distracted for a second. I apologize. Researchers are staying at not the tavern, but the tavern, not an inn, but the tavern, just kind of taking up space in the main area just to stay out of the elements. If you go closer and you go to check it out, you do see their cart that was in the clearing just parked nearby.
Turning to Luce. Should we pop in? Grab a drink?
I do not think we need to make this too long. I simply want to drop something off with my wife.
Fair is fair. I'm gonna go say hi to my parents. Give them the good news.
do you need company?
No, it'll be quick. I'll meet up with you all back. We don't have to roleplay this scene.
Luce, the only one that is in the tavern is Nalia. The researcher who is dating Ari and is fairly frail. She's the only one that is present. And when you enter, she will wave to you. Oh, we weren't expecting you.
We're simply stopping by to deliver a package, as I believe Hale has phrased it.
She looks a little confused, but takes you at your word.
Could you do me a favor?
Of course.
We have to get going very quickly, so unfortunately I cannot stay very long. But could you please deliver this letter to my wife?
She nods. Of course. When her and everyone else have come back down from the mountain in the spring, I will hand it off.
Thank you.
Have a safe trip. I'm glad you're all doing okay.
As well as can be expected. And tell my niece I hope her aunt says hello.
I will. Is there anything else anyone would like to do in Perth?
Yeah, Mariana wants to know if she can have honey.
Yes. You will need to purchase it. We could just say you arbitrarily have the coin for it, but yes, you can get honey. You may add honey to your inventory.
Perfect.
Vago, is there anything you want to do while in Perth?
No, not really, surprisingly.
Cool. In that case, also, Mariana, if you do ask before you leave, Emily, she does not have a letter from your parents. And she would explain that since you gave her the book and she kind of put two and two together, that's where you're from. She can get a message in, probably, hopefully, but there's no way for her to get one back.
And Mariana sort of figured, and part of the reason she wrote her letter the way that it was because it's very likely that it was checked.
But yes,
So
you do not have a response.
I think she expected that, so isn't disappointed, but maybe just like a little.
Okay. People have said hellos. People have said their goodbyes. You are packed with bread. At the minimum, a loaf per person if you desire it. And you can head back on your way. Tell me where you're going, and if there's anything you would like to discuss on the way. And who's driving this time?
I think Mariana would be like the driver, but would offer to let Hale try, since like she kind of like, I'm sure like on the drive to Perth was like, you gotta be gentle with the horse and like make sure the horse, this is her training, make sure the horse trusts you and that the horse knows you appreciate it and it will help you get to your journey. And then we'll like, after has this like whole spiel about how you have to like be kind to the horse, we'll then be like, oh yeah, and then you hold the reins like this, like look.
Trust first. Skills second.
Hale is just listening like, okay, well, hello, Biscuit. My name is Hale. I hope you're comfortable. Here's an apple.
Best friends. You're already best friends. Every time you come nearby, you are snuffled as she looks for an apple.
Oh no.
Ooh.
This is bad.
You set a
that's-
precedent.
You've set a precedent.
That's not trust, Hale, that's bribery.
Sometimes it's the same thing.
This is code. This is dependency.
You were left with a lot of blankets in the backseat.
We're gonna be so warm.
You're gonna be so warm.
Probably, okay, but would we not be like, here are some very nice blankets, other traveler people. Have something cozy and homey.
You can absolutely offload blankets on other travelers that you see as you make your way south, if you would like to.
And across the land spread the rumor, the mythos of the traveling band that gave out blankets.
Very nice blankets. Are you just like giving out free samples and advertising the sage bends?
Just to make sure it's got a tag on it that says made with love by the sage friends. And then their address on it in case.
Locating.
Looking for commissions. I do stuff that only I do like small things that can be used as hoods. If you want something lower than the head that it covers more of the bust, that's an additional price to it.
They made the first Snuggie.
They have pricing.
Oh, I also forgot to mention, when you were heading back up north, and you can actually see it when you're going back southeast, Mariana, you see that tree with purple leaves.
And I likely will point it out. Be like, will like very hurriedly pull out my map. And I have it written down on the map that I drew.
Yes, you can mark it down. I need to remake my map, but you can you see it.
So I'm assuming Hale's driving and like probably really trying to concentrate, and I just am like pointing my finger in the book into his face and being like, "Look, I saw that before when I was coming this way."
Mariana, I cannot see with your notebook in my face.
I'm sorry. You should probably concentrate, but I saw that tree before. I saw it before.
Purple leaves.
I know, isn't it really pretty? But now I know there's a lot of danger. Do you think it's a pillar?
I mean, is there any, like, ink deposits around this area? Well, from what the professor had said, pillars typically have much larger deposits of ink surrounding them.
That's true. And ink's not really purple.
Not this kind. Not the worrisome kind, anyway.
I think it's just a funky tree.
Okay. Sure, right. Not a pillar next to her tree entry in her journal.
And tree?
Oh my god. Shut up, RJ.
Listen.
You're in a mood today, bud.
It's that angst from previous session.
Yeah, you're speaking of which.
Okay.
Oh, we did spend a night resting, so remember if you're missing vitality to roll.
Who did something like missing vitality? Am I right?
Yeah, what is everyone at, by the way?
I'm at full now.
I'm at
Full.
Okay, so everyone is Hale.
Oh no.
That's the new it's the new
God.
TTRPG, everyone is Hale.
So I have to be Hale. Think about what Luce would do.
Be a wet cat of a man.
Do crime. Don't forget to do crime.
What's
Right, that's a
bad,
big
but a
one.
What would
miserable
Liz-
pile of cats.
What would Luce do? Crime. Yeah.
What
Okay.
would Luce do?
You wouldn't
Crime?
not do crime.
Violence.
Anyway.
The answer is violence, and if it's not enough violence, you're not using. If it doesn't, the first bout of violence doesn't solve the problem, you're not using enough violence.
Violence? I thought we were looking for a hop.
Carrying on. God damn it, Mare,
As
corral the
the,
cat.
as the four of you continue to go south, to your left, you do see the broken arches of Vale Point in the distance, very far off. And you keep going south to where Hale, this is starting to look familiar because you came from Perth to Vale Point and then down south a little more to investigate the pillar with Trina and Edmund. And it occurs to you now that this is also the same direction as Clover Point, a small town that you have been to multiple times. And as you're getting closer and closer to the destination of the pillar, you also see Clover Point. And it is very still, and it is very quiet. Apparently, the pillar was much closer than you originally thought it was when you first visited. Because normally, you come from Perth directly to Clover Point. But this time last time you went from Perth to Vale Point to Clover Point.
That's a lot closer than I remember.
Is it always this quiet over here in Clover Place?
No, it's supposed to be a thriving community.
Should we go and look?
Does Clover Point have stones?
It has protection. It does not have like the same kind of protection as Perth, but it does have like a like ink protection. It's just it's manifested in a different way. And here it's like a small knee-high stone fence encircling the entire town, which is decently sizable.
I have bad.
Yep.
I have
Yeah.
bad right now.
Basically, to everyone except Mariana, this town is familiar looking. Luce, a lot of places seem familiar to you. You've been to a lot of places. You've been traveling for 50 plus years.
Everyone's got to harp on my age now that they know it. For Christ's sake, yes, I'm 86 years old. For Christ's sake, y'all treat it like I'm about to keel over in like 2 seconds.
Vago, this place hits a little closer. Similar to how when you went and saw the sage bends again.
So I'm assuming you're out of the cart now, or are we still in the cart?
Up to y'all how you want to approach.
Absent-mindedly, Vaga's gonna kind of climb out and make their way over. Like, not really sure why. Feet are just kind of moving on their own.
Vago starts walking without y'all.
Mariana's gonna take the reins from Hale, because she knows she's probably gonna have to do some quick stops. And so is going to try to find a place to hitch Biscuit that's a okay distance from the town, so that if something happens, like, we're close to the horse, but at the same time, Biscuit's not in immediate danger.
Yeah. You can easily, there are some like juvenile trees, some larger trees. They're not like, it's not like forested or anything, but they're like the occasional leafed green. There are bushes. You can hitch Biscuit up just about anywhere.
Okay. I'm assuming we're all on the same page. Luce, Hale, with what the fuck is Vago doing, and we have to go get him?
Yeah, Luce is already going and like grabbing Vago and being like, "What are you doing?"
Okay.
Something's happening. Like, what am I? This place feels so familiar.
It does for me as well. Going into any place that is entirely silent and we cannot see anybody by yourself is going to get you killed. Again.
Mariana's gonna encourage Hale to go for them, that she'll be okay, and she'll get Biscuit taken care of so that they are together.
The buddy system.
I have Biscuit as my buddy, go!
When Biscuit's tied, you know what? I will be in the middle. And Hale begins to jog off, but keeps Mariana in sight so that he can get to her if anything happens.
I feel like Vago didn't go too far.
Probably not.
Yeah. They also have a brick wall of a woman to get through, so.
Also true.
Mariana's not gonna hitch Biscuit. And is gonna say, listen, I have to pretend to be hitched. But if something happens, get away.
Just in case something happens and Biscuit needs to run. Got it. Perfect. You pretend to hitch Biscuit. Biscuit begins to gnaw on a nearby berry bush.
Yeah, and if there's feed, she'll leave feed out for him too. And then, as quickly as she can, get back to the group.
Sure. You get back to the group. I'm assuming catch up with Hale, and you and Hale catch up with Luce and Vago.
What's going on?
There's something about this town. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it feels familiar. Like I was at the Sage Bends. What is home? What is this? What does this mean? What?
We should probably look for somebody, right? We have to see if there's any people around.
Right. Do you want me to pop on up?
Do you want to risk going alone on this occasion? This is up to you, Hale. I don't mind either way. I want to be sure.
a sign of trouble, I'm dashing my ass back to you.
Good. We'll stay back in that case.
But I'll have sword ready and shield.
Luce is not being without her weapon out at all times right now. She does not trust this place, especially if it feels familiar to at least two of us.
And it's compelling my friend to poltergeist themselves to places.
Okay. Hale, roll me a dexterity check, please, for stealthing. Also, where are you going specifically? You've been here before. You know that there is a full-ass inn. There is a print weaver. There are multiple shops and stores along with a lot of residential areas. The inn is big enough to where it has like a full stable.
Honestly, the town center would probably be the best bet.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, tell me what you get.
4 successes.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely enough. So, how far away did the rest of y'all camp out to wait for Hale and the Hale to go in and out? Like, how close do you get?
Okay, so I think Mariana would head up. You said the fence is like knee high?
Something like that, yeah. You can easily step over it.
Okay, so I think she'll be like crouched at the fence, so like enough where she can see over it, but that if something were to barrel through, she's got more protection than just herself, and just watch.
So you're literally just outside the bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You too? Both of you as well, or are you going somewhere else?
Vog would probably post up with Mariana.
Okay.
Luce is not leaving anybody.
Okay.
It's like, I will be a wall for anything coming towards us at this point.
Okay. In general, as close as you all are, you also would just generally see this as well, just your perspective, and you're not getting as much of a good look as Hale is because of your stationary. Hale, as you go in and begin skulking your way throughout the town, it's decently sized. It has cobbled streets leading down towards the town center. It is eerie quiet, so quiet, and as you look around, you see that all of the buildings, every piece of wood, every rock, the ground is stained in a dark black color. It's not all, it looks like when water rises and then goes away, you got that like line where you can see where the water line is. It's like that, but it's got this slightly oily sheen to it, and it's dense. It feels dense here, similar to when you were at the pillar to begin with. You do not see anyone. You do not see animals. You do not see people. And eventually you make your way to the town center, which it's just a very open area. There's like no monument or anything. It's just the central area of town. And you in general would know that the town itself is kind of like a clock, circular, with streets leading in towards the center. But you don't see anyone. No one sees you.
Hale
do you know?
Sorry.
And you do also know it's not in where you came in. It's on another main road, but you do know where the print weaver is here, along with any other major establishments such as the inn, blacksmiths, etc.
I was going to scramble to a roof and look back the way he came to see if he could spot anybody in his party.
Based off like angles and stuff, you probably wouldn't be able to see them from where you are and over the rooftops and such, unless you started getting closer.
He will clench his fist and blow into the ruby ring to bring out Hardy. Hardy, my dear, can you fly over yonder to that wall and discreetly tell the party that It's very empty in here. And relay any messages they have back to me.
Hardy does a small squawk, not super loud, because this is a serious situation. And he begins flying over to the rest of the group. Luce, Mariana, and Vago, you see this beautiful parrot light down near the three of you. And just a little squawk, quiet.
Didn't see anything.
Quiet. Message?
Well, there's a print weaver here, right, guys? I mean, maybe we should go
Yes.
find them?
I agree.
I mean, they wouldn't have left, right? Because then if somebody was bound to here, then we should go find the print weaver.
Do we tell
Vago?
Hell to come back?
Vago, you just instinctually know where the print weaver is. You know that they are located, they are also the town blacksmith.
Vago's like sort of zoning out for a second as this knowledge sort of like comes to them. Like, I know where the print weaver is.
Well, I think Luce had a good point. We should gather up first before we go anywhere.
Yeah.
Message?
Hardy? To Hale, come back.
Come back! Hardy flies off back to you, Hale. Lights near you on your arm. Come back!
Thank you, my dear. And he will nuzzle into Hardy before dismissing them.
Assuming you go back?
Yeah.
Okay. You go back?
The streets are ink-stained.
I was just saying that I think we should get to the print weaver. Print weaver wouldn't leave, right? So they can probably help.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Vago knows where they should be.
Also, you'd also know as well, Hale. You've been here often enough.
Vago,
Shall we?
are you gonna be okay?
We can put me aside for now. We have to figure out what's going on here.
Well, if you need to rest, we can rest. We'll find a spot.
I'm fine. I promise.
How are you moving through the streets?
We're not as like obviously Hale is really confident in stealthing. I'm not. And Luce,
Neither
from what
one.
I remember, you're not. So maybe like just like not in the main streets, you know, like go back of buildings, between buildings.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Probably not through anybody's buildings. I think that would
Be
Mariana
pushing it.
would- Yeah, I think Mariana wouldn't be that disrespectful, and probably if you're like going through someone's backyard or something, is like sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, Vago, if y'all decide to go back, like, on side streets and alleys, you know where to go. You don't get lost.
Freaking me out.
It's like a series of turn rights, turn lefts.
Yeah, basically. Whether it ends
VPS
up...
Vago positioning system.
Welcome to Cloverfield. Clover Point.
You said Cloverfield, now I'm actually worried, because I don't want to fight a
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
alien.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
not.
at one point, Hale is about to point out a direction, but Vago goes to it immediately.
Yeah, probably.
It's a little bit, oh, alright.
What the?
And eventually you do come up with through these twisting and turnings of Vago just instinctually knowing where to go. You end up passing a couple houses before you step forward into the main street. And across the street, very close, is a blacksmith shop. And as you get closer, different things happen. The first one is whatever happens whenever you get to a new printweaver place. It happened when you went to Perth. You kind of got resituated to your spawn point again, like even though you were already there. You felt that little pop again as you're reacclimating. But once again, when you get here and get onto the blacksmith property, you feel that little pop in your head and your soul and your heart, and just you reacclimate. This is where if you die, you will come back again. The second is you see a much older black woman with less melanated areas of, she has vitiligo, and she is absent-mindedly rocking on a rocking chair with a pipe in one hand and her long, starting to gray braids just pulled back out of her face. And she's just quietly sitting there. This is the first sign of life that y'all have seen. She's maybe not sleeping, but definitely zoning out in her own way.
Would I know their name?
You would know her both Hale and Vago, and if you want to, Angela, Luz could know. Her name is Sybil.
Miss Sybil.
The rocking stops, and she looks over at you who talk to her. What is the orientation when you approach? This is very important.
I guess Vago and Hale up front because they were sort of.
Considering they were leading, yeah.
Yeah, that makes
That makes sense. Like in a square, or like
Just
2,
square.
2, 1, 1, or like a T.
How well would you know her, Hale? First name
Maybe
basis or no?
he uses Miss, so there is respect there. Probably with the trade routes that he and his friends have been doing with the merchants. He has spoken to her, does not know her personally. It's more like, the hello, my name's Hale, thank you for being the print weaver who will be looking after us if anything happens.
Okay. She opens her eyes and rubs some sleepies out of her face and looks at you. Hale, Luce, and she looks at you, Vago. Gwyn, is that you?
Whomst?
What did
And
she just say?
Gwyn.
When?
Gwyn. And she begins getting to her feet and begins walking towards, the four of you, but mostly towards Vago, who she has called Gwyn.
Huh?
I didn't think anyone from Clover Point survived. And let me know if out of character, if this is too much, but she actually comes up to you and will hug you.
Vago is very surprised, honestly, to the point where they don't know who they're not gonna hug back, but more so out of just shock and surprise more than anything. What? Who are you?
And that kind of shocks her out of it, and she pulls away and looks at you. Sybil, did you hit your head? Are you okay? What happened? When the ink came, I thought everyone.
What do you mean? What?
And that now she lets go. You don't remember.
They're going to shake their head no, no.
And she looks very
Should I?
sad for a second. I guess I was the... Come on in. I can give you a place in this desolate town. I can fill you in on what you missed, Gwyn.
Yeah. You can tell they're very uncomfortable, like with being called Gwyn, because like no one has ever called them Gwyn before. It just feels weird to them.
If Vago faffs for a moment, there is just a strong slap against his back to push him forward.
Ow.
It's gonna solve some mysteries.
Yeah. I guess it will. If you look down, you can see that their hands are shaking a little bit. Like, and same with their legs a little bit, but they sort of start to step forward and head inside.
You would all notice that this, as soon as you entered like the perimeter, passed through the perimeter of the Printweaver Shrine, there's no ink. At least not in the way that it is for the rest of the town. But Sybil walks inside to her shop, which is there isn't a lot of stuff in here anymore. Like if she had any wares for sale, Hale would know that she had a lot of wares for sale. She was a very good blacksmith. Definitely supplied all the nails everywhere in the town. But it's pretty much cleaned out at this point. And she will allow everyone to come in. You didn't seem to like being called Gwyn. I'm sorry. I just was very surprised when I saw you because I thought everyone from Clover Point is gone.
What do you mean they're gone?
There was a flood of ink. And it just kind of, I don't know the best way to describe it, but they were there at one point and another they weren't. It's just been me.
But where did they go?
She takes a long puff on her pipe. And then she's trying she's struggling not to call you Gwyn again, but she looks at you, Vago. I guess there's no point in me asking if you know if your brother made it.
Vago raised their eyes and I'm like, brother?
She nods. You're from here. You used to, when you were younger, you used to wait in my shop, waiting for your brother to come home in case he died and had to be revived. You okay, Angela? You kind of lived here for in your waking hours anyway. I'm sorry. Sorry.
My brother was a traveler.
Heron. I'm sorry. This has got to be overwhelming, and it looks like you all have traveled pretty far. And she turns to her counter, begins walking behind it, and pulls out a single bottle of liquor. Help yourselves.
Hale will reach into his back pouch and pull out the tobacco that Alvar had given him, and will split half with Sybil.
I still got a good chunk in here. Thank you.
Oh, is it safe to bring Biscuit in here?
Biscuit?
Of course.
Yes, it's more or less safe. There have been some spirits walking around the town, but
I'm sorry.
Did you say spirits?
Spirits?
I have to ask again. Where did the people go?
I don't know.
There wasn't any. They're not in the cemetery or anything?
She shakes her head.
It's just some Roanoke shit.
Sybil, why are you still here?
Providence says there's one last thing I need to do. Then I need to wait.
Do you have to wait
wonder-
alone?
No one else has come by.
Just nobody came.
No one's come. Not since the ink happened. People
How
are just too afraid.
How long ago?
About a month and a half, roughly. A month. Basically around the time everyone knows when the ink pillar happened.
It might not because they're too afraid, it's because they don't know.
Well, they have to know, right? Because if you've been here and you've been here and
I didn't know this had
been
happened.
here.
What direction did you come from?
From Perth? It's the same thing with Vale Point. Sybil, I don't think you'd know. It's gone.
Gone?
Yeah. Well, it's still there. The rocks. They
The
fell
protections
down.
failed.
No, the protections still work here. They keep monsters out. For the most part. But no one's been here. You're the first.
What's the closest town to Clover Point? Do we know that?
Probably Vale Point, but it's several days away. By cart, yeah. Directions and travel speeds are nebulous. They're hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to put them on a map.
Yeah. No, I get it. It just seems really weird that nobody's come here. Because this is a sizable town, right? Like, we had to kind of work through to get to the blacksmith, so you would think they would have trade, import, export. Why has nobody come here? But we didn't know about it. Sus.
Because people might be going missing on the roads.
Would it be okay if I looked around? I don't want to, I don't want to get into anybody's business, but maybe if there's a clue somewhere.
Be my guest. She takes a
Mariana
big. Go ahead.
wants to look in windows and stuff and see if, like, I don't know, like their shoes or you know what I mean? Like those, like random signs that somebody is here. Like,
Yeah, we'll do that in just a second. As you peek around. As you leave Mariana, Sybil comes back up to you, Vago. Maybe we should start over. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's not your fault.
Is there anything I can do for you? You seem more than frazzled and confused.
Yeah, I am. Do you mind if I have some space? I need some time to just clear my head.
You know, you can go back in the forge if you like. If you don't want to wander.
Thank you.
As you go back into the forge, you see the anvil, you see all the hammers and the tools. And you also just see like a bunch of small stick figure like metal people, which that's her medium for bringing people, for travelers back. That's her base. That's where she starts. Vials of ink on the walls. Is there anything you would like to do in here, Vago?
Vago just at this point just kind of fall to their knees and just honestly just start crying at this point.
Okay.
Like, just they can't control it. Just the tears just start falling by themselves, and they can't stop.
You can have a breakdown as a treat.
at least it's not in the shower of a gym.
Sybil, a question about Gwen.
Sure.
Growing up, was he a traveler?
She looks at you confused. No?
No. Called it.
Their brother was.
Right.
How dare you commit a Full Metal Alchemist right here in this town?
How dare you commit a Final Fantasy VII right here, right now?
To be fair, I haven't seen Final Fantasy VII, but it didn't even occur to me for FMA.
You ate him.
Continuing on. Sorry.
About the spirits that roam the town, are they hostile to any capacity?
Yes.
You know what, Luce? When Vago feels a little bit better, could you look after him? I'm going to look after Mariana.
They usually come out at night, though, so you should be okay.
Okay. Well, just in case. We've seen some shit. They're a little confused. A lot has happened.
Yeah. They going by something else?
Vago Viator.
She nods. I'll adjust. I don't want to make things more difficult for them than it already is. I hope they're going to be okay.
Surprisingly resilient, that person.
They are.
Be back soon.
Mariana, you're gonna look around?
Yes. Specifically, she's trying to find where Vago used to live.
How are you gonna find this out?
She doesn't know. She really doesn't
She
know.
will.
She is she is determined. She is determined to find where she lives for very wholesome, good purposes, I might add. But she wants to.
No, I don't think that was.
Look
We
at-
don't think you're capable of doing it. It's just logistically, how the fuck are you doing this?
So this
Focus,
is what
commitment, and sheer
listen.
will.
This is what Mariana's thought process is, right? And it's so stupid, but picture photos don't exist, right? Like they don't exist, right? But Mariana has been with Vago long enough; she knows what he's wearing, so she's trying to look
Hey.
to see if any of the clothes.
The clothes
And-
were given by Aunt Hannah.
I imagine Mariana just kicking down doors like, Vago? No.
I was
Vago?
like, because at first I was like, oh, she'll look for pictures. There's no pictures. There's no like photographs. But
Listen.
she's literally going off vibes. Like she's literally going off of like, does this house give off Vago's vibes?
Vago vibes.
And then if
Mariana.
so, she's gonna like nicely. She's not gonna like rip their windows open or tear the doors down, but she's gonna try to get in and find things that like maybe belong to Vago and be like, look, I can help you remember. Like this is literally just like goodness of her heart. And she's like, wait a minute, I can help him remember stuff if I just find things that used to belong to him.
A
So
small
that's
bit
what
of
she.
a small bit of ribbing from me, but are you going to look for the most existential looking house?
Oh my
Which
god.
one looks like it? Which one looks like it's in crisis?
All of them.
The town.
But also she knows, right, that his brother was a traveler, right? So any sign that a traveler lived somewhere, she will
Those are
also
normal ass
Travelers
people.
are like normal people. We're
She
not
does-
like.
This is Mariana brain.
This is
That's
Mariana
true,
brain.
though.
Okay,
This is
Mariana.
Mariana brain.
so Hale, you find Mariana going on a fucking rampage, creeping in and looking in other people's houses. You do not find anything, Mariana.
She looks as long as she can.
Hale, you find Mariana
Long
looking.
as she can.
Doing a bit of looting?
No, I'm not. I would not take anything. I was trying to find Vago's house.
For the reason of
Well, you know how sometimes when you see something or you smell something, like you remember stuff like when you see it or when you smell it?
like a memory that's very deep in, but there's a trigger for it.
Yeah, so like what if he smells something from home and then he remembers?
They
Thank you.
Well, they're currently not doing well.
Well,
There is a line to be towed between the kindness you're trying to provide and also kind of waiting a little bit until they're all right. I'm sure that Vago would appreciate the sentiment, though.
do you think, not right now, but do you think they would maybe know? They seem to know this place without remembering, and they seem to know where they were going without remembering, so maybe when they're feeling better, they can try to think about home, and they'll just walk there.
In my experience, Mariana, there are some things that the mind forgets but the body remembers. Like riding a horse or baking bread. So perhaps when they are feeling better, we'll take them around. Maybe something will come back to them.
You just reminded me of horse. We have to go get Biscuit.
Oh, shit biscuits!
I don't want to eat his biscuits.
No,
Not his shit biscuits.
No. Hale will just, if it's all right with Mariana, just put an arm around her shoulder and begin to walk with her.
Let's go get Biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay. You all get Biscuit. Luce. When Hale and Vago and Mariana leave, Sybil walks her way over to you and offers the bottle if you would like a swig. Long time no see.
Would you be disappointed if I told you I might not remember you as best as I used to?
No. I don't take offense to it, but Sybil.
Lucia Villette.
It's been a while. You do you take a swig at all or no?
I think I'd like to stay lucid for at least the rest of the evening, if you don't mind.
Understandable. What brings you back here? You here to collect your gear?
What do you mean collect my gear?
Well, it's been a while since I saw you. You don't have that sword that you carried around, and I've seen it around.
My sword?
You weren't aware. Yeah, I've seen your sword around.
Where?
In the hands of one of those spirits I was talking about?
Did they seem to indicate they knew me? Or
Hard
is
to
it just
tell.
one of those? I'm assuming it's just another one of those creeping around.
Yeah, I kind of stay away from them.
What are they?
Ghosts, spirits. I've seen a couple of them go throughout the town, but this one with your sword with the scarlet handkerchief has been more so on the outskirts towards the north. Near the
Thank you for
cemetery. So
Thank you for letting me know. I will do my best to try and retrieve it.
good luck.
May I
seemed
ask you?
Important to you.
It is. It was a gift from my wife, who I only just remembered I had.
She's not sure what to say to that. So
It's an awkward thing.
She'll take another puff of her pipe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Are you content in being here?
Not particularly. I want to move on. Pritweaver's job is to bring back those who die and guide in other ways for the travelers in Providence. And that's not for me here. But I get the feeling she wants me to stay a little longer. Also, I do have a day job. And just being here is depressing.
How long has it been since you last saw me?
She tilts her head. Thinking. More than a year, less than 5.
Stuff better than my wife did. Well, hello again, new old friend.
Hello again, new old friend. She'll like lean back on her desk for the the counter. Kind of processes.
Are you alright?
This is the most a lot that has happened in a while.
Would you like a massage for your shoulders?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
I swear,
you-
my hands have somehow retained their youth. You wouldn't know it, but I'm 86 years old.
You look good for your age.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you for the offer, but I'm okay for now. Anything else you'd like to say, Luce? God, what is that
Give-
look?
Mariana, I was in the room when Mariana asked about Gwyn's brother being a traveler and Vago not being one, correct?
Correct, yes.
Have you ever heard of someone taking on a traveler's role?
She gives you a puzzled look. I kind of want to roll. I kind of want to pull a sooth card for this.
That's why I rolled. I
Ooh.
rolled and I got above 3, so I went with whether or not
Okay.
Luce was going to ask.
Give me 2 seconds. This is going to be up to the cards on my other system. So I have pulled
Drum roll.
the untrustworthy mirror.
Good joy! This better be one of those that
Lovely.
just sounds terrible, but is
I
interesting.
beg your pardon.
The first mirror?
Welcome to Invisible Sun Mechanics, everybody. Mm,
For our viewers who aren't used to Mare as a GM, Mare is in fact a quite prolific Invisible Sun GM, and is
He'll
in
give
fact
you so much credit.
Credit that's deserved.
one, it's
Absolutely
deserved, and number
deserved.
2, I literally can't think of the system without thinking of you. You are my
Okay.
actual mental association with that game.
This is true.
Okay. So this card has meanings of illusion, false identity, and failure. So
Shut the fuck up!
So she gives you a puzzled look, Luce, and she shakes her head. I'm sorry, I haven't. Why?
I have a theory, but
Why are you asking me that?
I don't think Luce says anything, but looks in the direction of where Vago was.
She looks over back at her, like where it leads to her forge, and she looks back at you. Are you saying Vago is a traveler? Granted, I didn't get a good look at their hands when they walked in, but how? Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes. You can confirm it. Vago is most certainly a traveler.
That's impossible. I've known them since they were a kid. They were not born with prince.
Then I have a guess, and perhaps they have been given marks.
Or stolen.
Yes, disembodied voice of entity I do not see.
If they were given prince, whose are they? Like, she has like a thought in her head, but she doesn't look like she wants to verbalize it. Like, but she put it
I
together.
think
Like,
Luce is giving the face of like, come on.
no,
hon.
she like, and
Like,
she's
you
giving you a
know.
look too, but she's like, it's a denial face. Like, she doesn't want to believe it, but she does understand the connotations you're putting down. Then where is he?
I don't know.
Why did your group come here?
We're investigating the pillar. As well as looking for somebody.
I haven't left my home too much, but I can try and assist and answer any questions I can while you're here.
Have you heard of someone by the name of Edmund?
Yeah, they used to come around pretty often, at least every couple times a year, escorting caravans with Hale and their friend Trina.
Do you know anything of the Paragons of Providence or the Magnus of Cycles?
She stops and thinks really hard. They were both in town about a month and a half ago. It's not uncommon for the Magnus to be here. Vale Point is a hop, skip, and a jump away. But I've only heard of paragons in passing from travelers who were unfortunate to stumble upon their little home and being chased away or else.
Did any of them give a sign or any mention of where that home was?
Well, it's not a secret. They're to the south. They live in a canyon. They call it the Trench. Travelers tend to avoid it. And if they don't know about them, they learn pretty quick that they should avoid it. But they didn't break any laws while they were here, so there's really nothing we can do. They didn't harass any travelers while they were here, other than give nasty looks.
Thank you for the information. I think if there's any more to be said, that this should be for everyone to hear.
I agree. We'll wait for Vago to take all the time they need and your other two friends to return. Apparently with a horse.
I feel like at that moment it's like, "Ah!" outside.
Probably. All right. I think this is a good
I feel
place
like
to end
Vago-
it. Soon. Oh,
I
go
feel
ahead.
like
Sorry,
Vago
go
might have
ahead.
been. I would say Vago was probably listening into the conversation between Sybil
Yes.
and Luz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Great idea. Perfect. Yes, absolutely.
The last panel with Paramount, you just see Vago's
Vago
been
just
listening.
like,
It's a great
right
narrative
listening.
idea.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Was there anything else anyone wanted to do or say before we ended?
No.
Okay. In that case, hey everybody, thank you for joining us for session 7 of Printweaver Pillars of Ink, which, if you haven't read the title yet, it is Welcome Home Act 2. I am Mare. I have been your game master. We're all going to go around and say, hey, hi, where you can find us and all that fun stuff. So who would like to start?
I'll go. Hi, I'm Analog Amber, and my mind is fucked right now. You can find me on the internet at most places as analog_Amber. I am a Twitch variety streamer who likes to focus on giving back and charity work. Currently raising money through the End of Pride through Stream for a Cause. And this week is the Queer Indie Game Showcase, where we're celebrating queer devs, queer characters, queer everything. So if you like indie games and want to learn some more, hop on over. We'd love to have you.
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. You can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things about life. And why do my arms do that every time? And sometimes shitpost on Twitter. Catch me in other games during the week if you want to see me go live in those places. I play a range of characters, not just a stinky bastard man. More like a stinky bastard man 2 out of 5 games.
Non-stinky bastard is in the majority.
No, it's not. Usually I play Himbo or Sweet Good Boy.
I can go next. Thank you everybody for tuning in. My name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I have been playing Lucia Villette, otherwise known as Luz del Valle. You can just go check out the Pride zine that Girls Write These Worlds just put out. We put so much work into it. I think we're at 72 pages and 11,299 words at last count.
So many.
It's bigger than our first 2 zines, folks. We put a lot of work, we put a lot of time, and we jam-packed. This baby is just so full of like queer, you wouldn't even be able to believe it. And it's here in time for Pride. So come support queer creators. If you put your money where your mouth is, if you want to be, even if you just want to be an ally, support us.
I can go last. Hi, everybody. My name is Abisha Mutange. I use he, him pronouns, and I've been playing Vago Viator, they, them, also known as Gwen. You can find me on Twitter at neon_Raiden. Basically just a voice actor who likes talking about the nerdy things of life, like basically like Tokusatsu, any Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers fans. Yeah, we usually catch me ranting about this week's episode of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, and yeah, right now I have my priorities dealing with whatever just happened with this session. Just my wow.
Right, and I think that leaves me. Hi, I'm Mary. You can find me on Twitter, Archmage of Dice. I am here running this game, and I'm also over on Sword and Key, and on Saturdays at 6 p.m. over at Sword and Key, I am playing your lovely Soul Knife Rogue Stars Druid Centaur Acacia for Horizon's Call, our nautical pirate game. And on Thursdays, for one more session this week, on the 22nd, we will have the finale of our Invisible Sun Fraying Threads game. And I'm also in a couple upcoming one-shots. I'm in a one-shot on Neon Lights Roleplay this upcoming Friday, I think. And that's about it. Please stick around for the raid. We are going to be raiding Exquisite Corpse Presents, who is doing an all-bisexual charity stream. We'll see you around, everyone. There is no session next week. We will be returning on July 2nd. Bye. Bye.